everybody. I hope you're doing good, that you're healthy and joyful. I'm here to do Virgo September Tarot 2026. I'll be using a bunch of tarots and oracle. Let's dive in. I hope you had a really good summer, Virgo, and happy birthday because it's your birthday season, September, Virgos. All right, with Major Arcana, we'll check the vibe of September. With Rider-Waite, we'll check the recent past and the near future. With Osho and Tarot, we'll check consciously and unconsciously what's up for you. With Divine Connection, we'll check the challenge of the month and the outcome of the month. Virgo, on this platform now, everything is dubbed and subtitled. I have a French channel. It's free. There's no commercial, and it's not a copy and paste of this channel. Therefore, it is absolutely complimentary for you. The link is next to my picture. You click, you scroll all the way down, and here we go. I'll see you there. You can even subscribe if you want to. But like I said, it's complimentary and it's free. No commercial whatsoever, dubbed or subtitled. All right, let's do it, Virgo. Oh boy. All right, so Virgo. Something needs to change. You have the Tower. So, you know the drill. You need to activate the Tower. You need to change something in particular about yourself, about a situation, but something needs to switch. And or the Tower is going to activate itself, but you might be extremely surprised and not happy about it. Okay? So, it could be as simple as your job. Let's say you're not happy about what you need to do. Your manager, your boss is not very supportive, and you're like, what the heck? And so you need to have the balls to knock out his door and say, okay, what's happening? Why? Simple as that. Now you put it in your situation. In the recent past, you had the Hangman, which is really good. In the recent past, the Hangman, it means that you got out of your comfort zone. You started to do things that you didn't do before, prior, and chill, you know, totally chill, taking accountability for what you do, maybe taking some space regarding a particular situation or a person, whatever. But at least you're taking accountability for it. And that's why that Tower is actually the next step, to make sure that you understood that step of the Hangman and continue doing that and switch and change things. You know what I mean? To not just stop and be like, oh, okay, but now I feel good. You know, it's comfortable. Nope. All right. Consciously. Consciously, you know that you need to be in full consciousness, to be in the now. And end of the story. Not, you know, projecting as if in like 5 years and 10 years and no, now that's it. Maybe you had a health scare and you're like, nope, can't do that anymore, you know? All right. Unconsciously. Unconsciously, well, you, unconsciously, you know that you need to go back to that little kid. What is the little Sharon wanted when she was 8, when she was 10, when she was 16, 17, you know, and go back to that very much, you know, we were free. We didn't have bills to pay. We didn't have to do anything. So some of us, we had a really harsh childhood. We were already adults, you know, at age 8, because we had, you know, parents that are like shooting away or drinking away or a little too much or whatever, you know. So it needs to be really important for you to understand those things, but unconsciously you feel it, that you need to go back to that little kid. All right, the challenge in September. It's really interesting because the challenge is water. Hydrating yourself, quit alcohol, or every time you use water, you need to be in full consciousness. Full, I'm washing my hands, okay, I'm full consciousness. I feel the water, I feel the drops. Shower is the same. Or maybe in September, you need to go swim, because that's the only thing that soothes you. Because water is soothing. So, you know, all those little scenarios. All right. Clarification why you have the 4 of Wands in the near future. You know, yeah, you need to stop projecting, Virgo. I really feel like some of you, you're just like, okay, when September, what am I going to do in December and next year? And oh my God, slow the F down. All right, clarification. Alors, yeah. So why you have that 4 of Wands? Well, you have your 4 of Wands because I have the feeling that, and it's part of what I just said, you know, regarding that Tower, that Hangman, etc. It's because you always shut up and just put stuff under the carpet. And now, that's it. So you need to go back. You need to install an emotional, physical harmony for yourself. And you need to go back to that creator, which is you. Your mother gives you life and you create your life. She doesn't. It's you. And it goes back to the unconscious of being a little kid and going back to that little kid. This is exactly what it is here. It's super powerful, guys. Oh my God. And then the outcome? The outcome is to express yourself and not be afraid to say what you need and what you want. Yep. And carry that message and really express it. That's exactly your outcome. All right, let's do the decans. First, second, and third. Allez, first decan. All right. So first decan, I have the feeling that some of you, Virgo, you're working on the concept of fear, not creating a thought and let it sit in your brain and is scared, shitless, etc., etc. And I have the feeling that you guys are working on that. So you're probably consulting, or perhaps you're consulting someone that is connected to neuroscience. I don't know, something. But at least it will make you, well, first of all, to understand why you have fears and avoid that. It's going to put you in a lighter state and feeling much better, okay, regarding that. Second decan. And if you're, of course, if you're on a cusp, you have more messages. Ah, Taurus in the house. Okay. So second decan, you are going to need to sort of isolate yourself, but for a good reason. It's because you have a lot of ideas, you have projects in your head, and you want to put them, you know, into account to feel good and do things the right way. So you might need to, yes, indeed, isolate yourself to do that. Third decan. Alors, third decan, it's interesting because you too is hungry for something. And you are going to do your best to act with goodwill, empathy, and compassion to be able to also work with the right people or do the right thing at the right moment. And so, of course, yeah, it's not, you know, you got to do it the right way, for sure. Yeah, that's for third decan. All right, the love department. Let's see what's up. And I use Les Amours de Marlowe. If you're single and happy, Virgo, 3 cards. Single and happy. Alors, if you're single and happy. If you're single and happy, you are just keeping this status. You're very happy about it. You're doing your thing, and you're extremely avoidant regarding, you know, you don't even want to think about a relationship, moving in. No. So in September, you're really living with exactly what you want. If you're in a relationship, Virgo, yeah, you're just, you know, just like, yeah, whatever. If you're in a relationship, alors, if you're in a relationship, let's see. Alors, there's 2 things here. Either it's you, or role can be reversed, but someone has been wearing a mask a lot and taking on themselves a lot. And now it's time to put down the mask and really put a little water in your wine, or at least, you know, cut the apple in 2 regarding stuff in your relationship. Maybe you've been arguing quite a bit lately, or I don't know, something, there's a little tension. And doing so and understanding that is going to bring you more abundance for your relationship. Of course, because you are going to take accountability. So you're not going to be an a-hole. You're going to be like, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. You know, I don't know why I said that. There's a lot of tension at work, and I'm bringing it home, and I apologize. You know, things like that. And this is going to be, yeah. Or you are going to realize that, yeah, someone is wearing a mask and is not, you know, speaking anything and not communicating, and you're gonna be like, dude, you know, can you tell me what's wrong? Because literally you've been, you know, it's really annoying. So, you know, communication, guys, it's always the key. And very nicely, okay? All right, if you're looking for love, Virgo. Looking for love. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, nobody in the horizon. It's, there's a lot of opposition. So it could be your own opposition too. because you feel like you're not ready whatsoever. And every time you go on a date or whatever, you know, it's the same pattern, behavior pattern, either from you because you have emotional triggers, or the other person, and you're like, oh my God, it reminds me of, you know, XYZ. But if it does remind you of XYZ, it means that, you know, you're not ready. And if you do realize that, then it's actually, it's also good because you know there's non-negotiables, but also because you can identify and recognize things. But if the first thing comes out of your head is like, oh, it reminds me of my ex, that's not good because it's not your ex. But at least you can identify and say, oh, okay, this is not what I want. I've had it before. But you don't need to, you know, okay, you got the drill. All right, Dancing in the Dark, 3 cards in the back of the deck. So it's more than 3 cards. Virgo. So it's a general reading, Virgo. The energies are not static, so you can come back whenever, in 2 weeks or whenever. If it does not resonate, don't get mad. It's general. All right, back of the deck. Gemini, the Lovers. Yeah, you know, I have a bunch of subscribers that only come mid-month or end of the month for their readings. Wow, there's a lot of people. We have Gemini, Capricorn, and Taurus. Okay, so, whoa, it's really intense. I wasn't expecting that, Virgo. So first of all, you need to stop to be attached to, you know, to the outcome, to what people may think, etc., etc. And here in September, there's sort of like, you're like on the verge of like, you know, and it's like, nope, nope, it's not the moment. So communicate, use your throat chakra, but don't, nah. Because, yeah, I have the feeling that you might do something that you're going to regret because the Diablo is here. And the Diablo is here also because maybe possibly don't do any auto-sabotage. Don't do any auto-destruction. You don't need that. You just need to express yourself, make things clear, not be in duality anymore inside. Do not play victim and do not be attached to outcome or the look of other people. So you got to work on all those things. And it goes back to self-esteem, Virgo. It's pretty clear. Wow. It's really intense. Thank you, Virgo, for your presence and for your support always. And I'm going to ask you to do 3 things like everybody else asks you to do. Like, share, and comment. And it helps to diffuse what I do. And take care of yourself. It's super duper important. And I'll see you on my channel. Because guess what? I post on the very regular and especially in the short section. See you there.